Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 17th. You have this card. It says running late. It says urgency, overwhelmed, and striving. You have this beginner's mind. It says present, curiosity, openness, and humility. Yeah, definitely with, your ruling planet, Saturn, is retrograde in Pisces. So whenever Saturn goes retrograde for you, you can definitely have those feelings of time. Saturn is time, and a lot of you could feel like you're behind on something, or like you're running behind, or like you don't have enough time. And again, this you will feel better like once we get to February. Saturn goes direct at the end of February, or moves back into Aries, I should say, at the end of February. So maybe by the beginning of the year you won't be feeling so much pressure. I also don't really feel it's a bad thing necessarily. I think it's about how you kind of like use the energy. If you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off, then you're probably going to struggle. But I think if you use the energy to say like, okay, I'm going to focus and I'm going to do this one thing to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish here, to overcome this, then you'll have a much better time. In your first row for your current general energies, you have the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Strength card. The Nine of Cups is about being in the energy of what you want before you can have it. You have that beginner's mind card, and it says curiosity and openness on it, which I feel are two amazing energies for this Mercury retrograde that's happening in Sag right now. I think that being open-minded to like new ideas or new things that you can learn would be very beneficial. Especially if you start working with the energy and you start living in the energy with the Nine of Cups, then there absolutely could be something that you wish for coming in for you. Nine of Cups is getting something you wish for, which is good. But I definitely feel that there needs to be a change because we have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is my favorite card in the tarot, but it does represent out with the old, in with the new. And I feel for you here, Capricorn, it's like the reading is asking you to start doing new things or, start mixing up your routine and things like that. It's funny, you have two aces, which is great in this reading, but you also have the Chariot. And, aces can represent new beginnings. Chariot is charging towards a new beginning. We'll talk about it in a minute. And so I feel using this energy to like grow something new at this time or create something new would be very beneficial for you. We're in a time where we really have to follow our inspirations, and the Ace of Wands is inspiration or following an inspiration. So, I think that would be good as well. You have the Strength card. The Strength card is a card of developing strength. Number one, she is taming her inner voice. This lion represents her inner voice or her inner critic. I feel like I've been saying this to you for a while, Capricorn. It's almost like something, or it could even be people in your life are telling you not to do something that you should. And they might not be directly telling you, right? Sometimes I think we can tell a person an idea. They can have a look on their stupid face that makes us feel like we shouldn't do it, right? They can give us a look or whatever. And so I feel like the Strength card is saying that you need to be careful of what you are listening to, or, you need to make sure that you're making the moves that you want to make. It's like, I don't know. I don't really see this in the reading, right? But, it could be like a little, maybe what you don't realize is that people are jealous, or, people don't want to see you do better than them or something like that. And I feel this is about, I think this card here is about having the strength to do it anyway, no matter what people are saying, because, it's like whatever you're thinking about is clearly, right in front of you. I'm pretty sure that in the last reading that I just did for you, I was saying that I think you had the Ace of Pentacles, because I remember saying something about how it's like something is right in front of you is how I see it, Capricorn. It's like there's an opportunity or something you want that's like literally dangling in your face. And, I think you need to go for it, whatever it is. Let's see. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, Three of Cups is good because it's like concentrated connections. It's those people who really support your vision, who really want to lift you up, who really want to see you be successful. Those are the connections that I would mostly be focusing on, of course, right now. With the Three of Cups, I think that will be the most helpful. Three of Cups, these ladies are celebrating a harvest. And, again, the readings this month have been surprisingly positive for money. And you have good money cards here. You have the Ace of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups and the Chariot in a row. So you could be celebrating a financial victory at this time. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Two of Cups. Yeah, it could be a little bit of love if you want it. Two of Cups can be a perfect match. Again, this retrograde has been pretty interesting because a lot of people have been getting love readings during this retrograde. And I always say that you should date anyway. So who cares if it's a retrograde, right? Sure, take your time. This card is communication anyway. This right here is the Staff of Hermes, which is Mercury, which is communication. So it's perfectly fine to start something where you just start communicating with a person and just see how it goes, right? And if after the retrograde, if after the end of the month, things stay the same or get better, then great, you found a good person. If they change after the retrograde, well, then there's your answer. You didn't. And so just pay attention and you'll be perfectly fine. With the Strength card, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, Six of Swords moving on to calmer shores. I will say this, this retrograde, part of me wonders if because it's starting in Sagittarius, which is like the sign of optimism, this Mercury retrograde started there, is there still. Maybe it is a little bit more optimistic. Maybe it is a little bit more of a positive Mercury retrograde. Not that I think retrogrades are bad in the first place, but it seems to me that this retrograde is pushing people towards optimism or a brighter future, or the Six of Swords can just be about making improvements, like doing things that improve your life. And so I feel a lot of you could and should focus on that. Next in the area, you cannot make this up. In the area of what's coming in for you, I didn't even see this. This card says jealousy leads to downfall. I said it a second ago that I didn't see any cards of jealousy, and there you go. I would be careful of jealous people who are making faces when you tell them things, stuff like that. You have this fire. It says reckless action leads to conflict. Yeah, I think that we should be, thinking before we do something, of course, during Mercury retrograde. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't do anything. It just means that we should plan before we take action. But again, I think bigger than that, maybe what you don't realize, Capricorn, is that people who are telling you not to do things are jealous, like I said already. You have the Four of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles also in the area of what's coming in for you. The Four of Cups can be an opportunity, but he's not accepting the opportunity because he's failed like 3 times before. So the Four of Cups wants us to accept this cup into our lives and wants us to apply the lessons we've learned. Even the Strength card says that you have developed the strength necessary to make whatever this is successful, and it could be any type of opportunity. With the Ace of Pentacles right next to it, this could definitely be like a work or a business or a financial opportunity that's coming in for you. And I feel you need to realize that you have the strength necessary to make it a success, whatever it is. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, of course, can be like lying, cheating, stealing, but he is sneaking away from this army in the background with these swords. So he's doing something in a different way. Instead of going to war, he's stealing the swords. And again, we have Uranus and Gemini still. Uranus will retrograde into Taurus in the middle of the month, but if you're watching this early, before the 17th, then, again, it's still in Gemini. And it's already entered into Gemini. This is the best thing we can do, not only with Uranus and Gemini, but also Pluto and Aquarius, is look for a different approach. Anything that you're trying to accomplish, what about you is unique? What about you is different? How can you highlight those skills? Because if you do, then you will stand out. And, I think it's an amazing time for Capricorn to stand out for their skills and what they're doing. He also has these polka dots on his cloak. Sometimes the polka dots in the tarot basically can represent taking things too seriously and needing to be more playful or needing to more practice like non-attachment to outcome. And I only say that if it pops into my head. So again, if you're trying to accomplish anything, I think like having a more playful approach, or just saying to yourself, I'm just going to see how this goes. I'm not going to, need this to work. I'm just going to see if it works. I think that little bit of a mindset shift would be very helpful for you, Capricorn, and it'll probably have you, it's like, it's funny how, if we don't care how something works or how we get to a finish line, that usually it works better. You have the Four of Pentacles. Again, with the 2 aces here and the Chariot and this card, I think these cards are trying to say that something needs to change, right? He's holding on to his life, but he's holding on to the way that it's always been. And he might be limiting himself he doesn't really know. He's holding on to what he has, but by doing that, he might be preventing himself from having something that he truly wants. So, I kind of feel he is encouraging you to take a little bit of a risk, to like get out of a comfort zone, or, to go try new things in life, or to go try doing something different in your life. And I feel like doing that would be very beneficial for you with this Four of Pentacles energy. Let's see here. With the Four of Cups, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, a lot of people have had the Eight of Pentacles this week, which is interesting. Mercury retrogrades can bring things back from the past, and this includes money. So Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon, but sometimes I think during a retrograde, the Eight of Pentacles can say you're getting money for work that you've already done. So if you're waiting for money, or, if you didn't get paid for something, there could be like a little bit of a return of money coming in for you, which is great. And it could come, I always say, like, the Eight of Pentacles, sometimes, like, let's say you worked for a person and they didn't pay you. The money might not come directly from that person, right? It might come from something else. But, I do kind of feel that energy with the Eight of Pentacles. This retrograde had a major focus on focus. So he is just doing one thing. He's only focused on building those 8 pentacles and finishing his job. So, this Mercury retrograde time, for the rest of the month, and I would say like the first 2 weeks of December, it would be really, really good to have a focus on one thing and just make it happen. And it could be something you've already worked on, or you've already been working on, and if you make it a focus, you'll look at the results. Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Chariot. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Fear here, Capricorn. 2 sevens is internal fears that don't exist. The Seven of Pentacles is like the fear of a change in direction. He knows what result he's going to get from those 7 pentacles. He doesn't know what result he's going to get from the Ace of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles, same thing. He doesn't know what result. This is the same. This is different right here with the Ace of Pentacles. It's like, this looks to me like you are either thinking about making a change in direction, or you're getting an opportunity that you've tried before with the Four of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, that you should try again. Because, right now it's like you're getting the same result. And Seven of Pentacles, to me, says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it to put energy into these pentacles, or is there something better? And clearly, there's a better opportunity coming in for you. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Death card. Yeah, change. So we kind of talked about it. The fear of change, the fear of things being different. The 7, and it's funny that you start with that beginner mind card. It says presence, curiosity, openness, and humility. There's a child on that card. There's a child right here. The child is the only person on the card that is not afraid of the Death Rider. The child is holding flowers up to the Death Rider, because children sometimes are excited for new beginnings and doing new things and trying new things. They ask a lot of questions, right? Seven of Pentacles, the polka dots, not taking things too seriously. Children usually don't take things too seriously. So I think being more, embracing your inner child, or, being willing to experiment more, be more playful with life, is what this is encouraging you to do. That is the thing that will probably lead to the change. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Endings and Beginnings card and this Stability and Security card. Yes, you have the Four of Pentacles, which is stability and security, and you have definitely a new beginning here with the 2 aces and the Death card, 7 of Pentacles, of course. So there's definitely some sort of new beginning here. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Chariot. Ace of Pentacles is an opportunity that you need to grab onto. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is something that we have to invest in. I always say, we have to treat it like a garden. We have to water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight, all those other things. I think that is why sometimes we can be afraid of Ace of Pentacles opportunities, because they are opportunities that just have potential, and so we have to make a big investment to make them work. Ace of Pentacles opportunities, but it's like, obviously if it doesn't work, then you're going to feel like you lost something. So I kind of do feel that there could be like a little bit of a scary opportunity coming in for you, but I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't be scared, because you have very good cards surrounding this card. And I feel that this is like a new direction. There's this portal right here. There are some mountains in the background. You are a freaking Capricorn. You know how to climb mountains, right? So I feel like there is a little bit of a mountain in front of you, but again, this isn't a bad mountain. This is a good mountain. I always say, where do you get the best views? At the top of a mountain, right? So this is a mountain that you should climb. It's like this opportunity. It's going to be a process. It's going to be something you're going to have to invest in: time, effort, energy, attention, work, whatever. But if you do it, I think you'll be very happy that you did. Also, Capricorn, make sure to like and leave a comment. Really helps me out. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is independence, gratitude, luxuries. During this retrograde, the retrograde readings that I just did, gratitude came up a lot. So I think that we're in a good time for practicing gratitude. Nine of Pentacles wants you to focus on your environment and wants you to create an environment of success around you. And I think retrogrades are a really good time to work with energy in general. We also have, by the way, we have a lot of retrogrades right now. Even today, I'm recording this on the 11th. Jupiter goes retrograde today on the 11th. So, we have a lot of this retrograde energy that we can work with. And Jupiter retrograde is not like a Mercury retrograde. Jupiter is always positive for the most part, pretty much no matter what. So even when it's retrograde, we can still expand, we can still grow. But one thing I will say about Jupiter retrograde is, working on energy is probably a good thing. And it's happening in your opposite sign, Cancer. So it's going to be more important for you to focus on this energy. And, again, focusing on surrounding yourself with things that, make you feel successful or make you feel abundant or whatever, that is going to be a very good energy for you, especially with this Nine of Pentacles. Next, you have the Chariot. Chariot is, of course, charging towards a victory, but he is setting himself apart. Again, he's leaving something behind, which this reading is definitely asking you to make some sort of change, right? You have to do things differently to find success with the Chariot. That's the whole point of the card. It's also a card that says, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, you are the sign of willpower. Capricorn is willpower. So, and like steady effort forward. So, I think that just working with your Capricorn self, your Capricorn energy is going to be very helpful. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is about carrying a heavy burden. There might be some things going on in your life that you have to eliminate. I feel like I said this to you recently, maybe, or something similar, where, it's a good card because he's carrying his harvest and he's about to reach his home. So he's about to have a harvest, but some of those wands might not belong to him. Some of those wands might be an obligation, or they might be something that he's holding on to that he doesn't need to hold on to. So he really needs to look at his obligations, his responsibilities, and he needs to say, like, some of these are mine, some of them aren't. And he needs to get rid of the ones that are weighing him down. So, I think it's a good time, or would be a good time, with the Seven of Pentacles as well, to look at what is not, what isn't feeding you, what isn't giving to you that you do. And I would eliminate those things. Here you go. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Six of Cups, childlike energy, right? Six of Cups is innocence and nostalgia. It is about embracing your inner child and, doing those things that would fulfill your inner child, having more fun. Doing more things that cause you to overflow, asking a lot of questions, being curious. The beginner's mind card, presence, curiosity, openness, and humility. All those energies would be very good for you to work on. I do like the Six of Cups, though. Sometimes I feel the Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive from this card is a turnaround. And you have the Seven of Pentacles, Chariot. These are cards of kind of having a turnaround, which is good. With the Chariot, you have the Two of Wands. Yeah, you have to leave a comfort zone here, Capricorn. I do feel like some of you have to do something that might make you feel uncomfortable, not like in a bad way, but, just like a little bit of a stretch. The Two of Wands, he's reaching out, but he's still standing at the top of his castle, and he has a whole world in his hands. So he literally could create or have anything he wants, but he just has to stretch a little bit and leave the castle and go on an adventure. The Chariot, same thing. He is leaving the city behind him because, everything is the same inside that city, and he has to mix it up. He has to go have new experiences and go do things that, he's wanted to do for a long time. And I feel like that would be very good for you. Next, here you go. In the area of the good stuff, you have this change card. It says change or movement in your life. That's the whole entire reading. It says new direction, relocation, progress, change of view, job, partner, or heart. You have this journey. Same thing. It says leaving old familiar situations. Chariot. It says letting go of the past, getting away, life journey, travel, vacation. Yes, clearly. Like, this is the whole entire reading is asking you to basically, do these things. So that's what I would do. You have the Devil, the Five of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. Again, this is all coming up in the good stuff, so it's going to be good no matter what. The Devil is you, Capricorn, so whenever you show up as yourself, kind of puts you in a position of power and strength. Again, also showing up in the good stuff, the Devil can represent removing any energy vampires or anything that's holding you back. So with that jealousy card, you could be removing, jealous people, jealous situations from your life and moving forward. You have I have a sticker stuck to me. That's going to distract my ADHD mind right there. You have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands can be conflict or competition. So the Five of Wands wants you to study the competition. Definitely one of the best things I think Capricorn can do right now is look at the competition for whatever it is that you want and see what they're doing and see what they're not doing and then fill in the gap, right? Like, do whatever the competition isn't doing. The Chariot really says it's time to set yourself apart. So there are things that you do in your own unique way, and you need to highlight those things because that's what's going to make you stand out the most. And the reading is definitely encouraging that type of activity here, Capricorn, so I would. You have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with in your life. Those 10 swords are in his back, and he's making the symbol with his hand here that represents a blessing. So the Ten of Swords in the good stuff can represent a blessing in disguise or receiving a blessing in disguise. You could be seeing how ending something with a Seven of Pentacles, Chariot, blah, 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 how just moving on to a new opportunity could really lead to the changes that you want. And that's what I would be doing with the Ten of Swords. With the Devil, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, work hard, play hard. There's a lot of playfulness in the reading. And, I think the reading wants you to be more playful and not just working all the time here, Capricorn. I also feel, again, that there could be the Two of Pentacles is a clue card to me, I'll say. And sometimes the clue that I get off the Two of Pentacles is that there could be some sort of settlement coming in for you. Again, this could be like a legal settlement, insurance payout, something like that if you're waiting for that. But, with the Eight of Pentacles, like I said earlier, I think this could be money coming back from the past based off of work that you've already done, which is good. With the Five of Wands, you have the Star, which is great. The Star is about hope, faith, renewal. I do feel like something could be giving you hope, but it's also saying that you have the opportunity to be the star. The Five of Wands, right? Five of Wands is all the competition, but the Star kind of says you have the ability to stand out above the competition. And that's what I would be focusing on here, Capricorn, is like standing out above the competition, or doing something to stand out above the competition. I think that would be the best thing for you. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. So there you go. We have the Four of Cups. This one here twice. So the Four of Cups in the good stuff would say that you are going to accept a cup into your life. And that cup could be anything in your life that you want. And, like I said, I feel pretty good about that because with the, with the first Four of Cups, I kind of feel like it's saying you need to accept that cup and nurture it. You have this yoke card. It says feeling tied down and frustrated. Yeah, the whole time thing that we were talking about, the running late card, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think that Capricorn is feeling the pressure of Saturn retrograde in Pisces, like time. Feeling like you're running out of time, things like that. A little bit of a mindset shift, I think, would help you the most here, Capricorn, if you're feeling like you're running out of time. Telling yourself you're not, but also, taking action on what you feel like you're running out of time on would probably be the most helpful. You have this lobster. It says financial pinch. I don't know. I think money looks pretty good here for you, Capricorn. I feel you've been experiencing financial pinches for a long time, and you're being given the opportunity to kind of correct these issues. You have this November card. I always clarify these monthly cards, and you have this basket. It says recognition, reward for merit. So Star, like I said, you definitely have the opportunity to stand out this month. And I would do something to stand out this month for sure with that Star card. I think that, the Star wants us to get recognition. You have this fly. It says a period of ill health and depression. Again, I think that we have South Node in Virgo. We have a Mercury retrograde. I would definitely be keeping an eye on your health. I don't think this is really that big of a deal, but I would just stay healthy, of course. You have this skull. It says hidden secrets can harm you. I would be careful. Like, I feel like this is people, like jealous people, people, like I said, that are making a face when you tell them what you're going to do in your life. That's what I would be putting up boundaries against as well with this card. But this looks pretty good here, Cap. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like and leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.